Every time I get back from a trip, I got people asking me, "Hey, did you have fun out there?" Well, you tell me. And the other question I always get is, "Man, I don't know how you do that. I could never do that. I could never
That
go
was
out in
pretty.
that cold."
That was really pretty.
Well, I'll tell you how I do it. I do it through overwhelming firepower, superior force of arms, and an almost inhuman desire to achieve victory.
Ground.
You know how long the shrapnel was falling for? It was like raining there for a second.
It is.
Holy shit. Fucking first fucking shot. Get the fuck out.
But in all serious, my gear is how I get through. Hey guys, Justin here with another video from Jay's Modern Bushcraft and Survival. One I'm pretty excited about. I'm gonna run through the gear that I brought with me on my week-long trip, and also show you some new additions that I've made, some changes that I've made since then, and basically what gear I'm bringing on my next trip. So sorry about the lighting in here, but it's really the only place I had room to spread out the gear and actually show you. Okay, so besides the little bag, this little bag, input picture here, that can hold all my camera gear that I need. This is my pack setup as I have it right now. Now it's comfortable to wear. It's a modular MOLLE system. This altogether probably 26 pounds, I would say, because it was 24.4 before I added the sleeping mat and a couple little things that I'll show you. See, now that might not seem like much gear, and it's really not. That's why I call what I do basically minimalist camping and bushcraft, because I take as little as I really need to get by. And in winter conditions, it's tough to get by with less than 25 pounds, I'll admit. Especially when you want to, be somewhat comfortable. So let's start tearing this apart, and I'll show you what's in there, how I got it packed, and I'll show you some of the new additions. Okay, so right off the bat, you'll notice I got my thermarest. It's not on the top of the pack, and it's not hanging down underneath like it used to. It rests just like this. Very easy to take it off. If I need to get to anything, for any reason, and it's easy to put back on. I stuffed my hatchet down in these two compression straps. On my week-long trip, I brought the full size, well, not a full size, but I brought a 22-inch 2.2 pound axe. For my next trip, I'm just going to bring the hatchet. See how that works out for me. So I have that for a tool, because I'm not wearing a belt, and in wintertime, I generally, my jeans with my belt are underneath my snow pants if I'm wearing jeans and my snow pants don't have a belt. So I clip the belt knife onto the other compression strap. Getting into the compartments themselves, one of the things I really liked about this system, there's some things I liked about it, there's some things I did not like about it. Hold on one second. Okay, so the This is a modular MOLLE system, which means these 3 pockets here all come off. This I really like for, if nothing else, with my other backpack. If you've watched my other gear videos, I had a black Fox Tactical, and I liked it because it had all the MOLLE webbing all over it. But the pockets were all a part of the pack, which meant whenever you load up one of those pockets, you're taking away space from the inside of the pack. So you're packing it out, but you're also packing it in. So just to give you an idea, this bottom pouch right here, it's held on by 2 snaps. And it comes right off. It's just these 2 snaps. They go down through the MOLLE webbing and they snap on. Now I'll get into this in a minute. Set this aside. These ones on the side, they're just Velcro straps. Same thing. There's 2 straps, they go through the MOLLE webbing, and they just Velcro on. But it doesn't matter how much you load them up, because you're not taking away from the overall space in the pack. So let's start with, there's two pockets in this pack. This front one here, all this basically is my foodstuffs. That's about it. The only other thing in there is actually a delivery I got today, a Lansky diamond sharpening rod. I just got this. I ordered this off of Amazon. Now, anything, I'm not going to go into too much detail about these products that I've gotten off Amazon today, but I will put links to everything I bought off Amazon. I'll put a link so you can go to Amazon and check out the description yourself. This is the only non-food item in there, and because I just got it today, I'm not sure where I'm going to put that yet. But look at how much food I can actually have in this pack. I have a bunch of, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I can always add a couple more coffees, depending on how long I'm going to be out there. But these are the good kind of coffees. I like these. They're like tea bags. Much better than instant coffees. And in this Ziploc bag, I also have sugar and cream. I have powdered creamer and sugar packets. I'll set the food stuff straight over here. Got some scrambled eggs. Sicilian mixed vegetables, huevos rancheros. There's 2 more meals. Roasted garlic mashed potatoes, Wisconsin cheddar mashed potatoes. I like mashed potatoes. Four cheese, chicken and broccoli and rice. And then I got these 2 larger meals. My backpack's tipping now that we're losing some weight here. That's okay. Louisiana red beans and rice and Kathmandu curry, whatever that is. I don't know, but it's food. It's light, it's small, it doesn't take up room. I mean, if I was living off this, I mean, this is a lot of food for me. I could probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's at least 9 full meals, but for me, that's a lot more. I mean, I wouldn't eat, I couldn't eat all that food in 9 days. So that's a lot of food just in that front pouch. And that's it, that's all that's in there. That's empty. Oh, and I just wanted to point out also, one of the things I did not like about my other bag was that it was all zippers, and zippers can fail. At least with this one, let's say the zipper did fail, you at least have these compression straps that can hold it closed. You know, and now you got two of them. So even if your zipper's completely failed, you got these two compression straps, you got two here, two on the bottom. So that's 6 compression straps still holding it closed. That I like. Backup, redundancy. You can always fix the zipper later if it's not something you could fix in the field. Now the main part of this backpack only has 2 main pockets. The one I just showed you with the food, and then this main pocket. Now, still had a couple compression straps on there. There was actually quite a few things that I had to hang off the outside of my black bag. If you remember from my day 1 video of my last trip, the week trip, I mean, I had a lantern hanging off of the back there. I had this bush pot thing hanging off the back there. They both fit in there now, no problem. And I have my general stainless steel mess kit. I really like this lantern. This served me. I got this for the last trip. It's got 2 brightness settings. This is great to have around camp. You know, just hang it off a little eye loop in my tarp. Set that aside. Of course, no empty space remains empty. This normally comes with 2 nesting cups like this, but I only bring 1, and inside I have actually a collapsible water bottle, and that can extend to hold quite a bit of water. But since I don't like carrying water, I just don't like having to wait. And if I need, I can stop and I can fill it up. And that's why I got the carabiner on there. I can hang it off my backpack afterwards if I don't have room for it inside the pack. This bush pot is something I'm looking to replace. You know, maybe someday soon. I'll put that over there with the foodstuffs, because that's, you know, part of my eating. Now, other than that, we have one more tool, and I've showed this saw, but I don't think I've actually shown how convenient this really is. I'm going to put a link to this because I got this on Amazon. I'm going to put a link to this in the description as well. So there's a saw, and when the saw comes with 3 blades, it comes with one for metal, one for bone, and then one for wood. Now I replaced the wood blade. I still have it here in this cardboard sleeve taped shut, and I keep all 3 spare blades in here just in case. You know, you always have a spare blade. But I upgraded the blade that I use in the saw now. It's very easy to set this saw up. It's not as easy as, say, you know, maybe one of those Packable boreals, but those were a little out of my price range at the time. And those are 21-inch. This is only a 12-inch saw. So once you get that lined up, and you have yourself a really stable saw. Now this blade, I've shown this before. This is a replacement Drywood blade that I bought on Amazon, and I'll put a link to it. Well worth the money, trust me. On my last trip, it helped out a lot. Very good investment. And if you see this tape, I added that on there. That's reflective tape. So in case I drop this, I'd love to get some neon tape as well to see it better in daytime. But at least if I drop it and it's nighttime, I can, from any angle, it'll reflect that light so I can find it easily. Good tip for any tool that, you know, doesn't have any bright colors on it or anything like that. Add some to it. It's a lot better than losing a tool, trust me. Okay, so that goes with the tools. The only other things I really have in here are my sleep system items. I have my 8x8 little cloth tarp. I'm going to put a link to where I got this at tentsmiths.com. I can't say enough good things about it. My Ubon sleeping bag. The fifth night that I was out during that week, it got down to -9 degrees at night. That's not, feels like -9. The temperature was actually -9, which means the feels like was probably at least -15 with the wind chill factor. And I was toasty warm, honestly. I woke up from cold maybe once, wiggled my toes, readjusted, and I was fine. And the only other thing I have in here is my trusty little envelope, which, as I'm always saying, you know, it's good for sitting on, it's good for fanning the fire. In this case, inside there, I put my little 5x7 ground tarp. So that's just a ground mat for my sleep system. And that's it for the main compartment of that pack. Now these two side compartments, in this one, I keep my main pair of gloves. And you would not think that in 0 degree weather, -0 degree weather, this would be my main pair of gloves. They're very thin, but they're made by Champion. And I think the fact that they're 96% polyester, or 94% polyester, 6% spandex. They keep me warm for the most part, unless I'm really just sitting there and they're wet and I'm not doing anything. But they're also quick to dry out, which helps. I really like these gloves. But also, I do keep 2 extra spare pairs of gloves in there. I have this pair, which is, they're a little bit warmer, but they don't have much of a cuff, so air gets down in there, so they can get a little cold. But, you know, if your gloves are wet and you want something warm, they're nice to have. And then I got one of these thin pair of like work gloves where they got like the rubber palms. Besides those gloves, that's it. Wait, nope. I do carry a spare flashlight in a pocket in there as well. So candling device, gloves, this side, I keep some paracord. I keep my main ridge line with the prusik loops attached. I don't save my toggles. If you wanted to, you could. I also carry 2 other spare hanks of cordage in there as well. Now, right now in this compartment, I have an emergency poncho and an emergency space blanket. I bet you're surprised I didn't use that, considering I was sleeping under a tarp with pretty much no fire at -9 degrees. I didn't even think to, because honestly I didn't get that cold. I also carry some emergency fire starting equipment with the emergency poncho and blanket. I have the magnesium and Ferro Rod combo, and a lighter with some duct tape. So that's kind of like, you know, just a little bit of emergency equipment. And I'll show you why I keep it there in a moment here. My cordage will always be there. The actual ridge line might not be, because I might have camp set up at this point, but I'll at least have a couple, you know, 6 to 10 foot pieces of emergency cordage along with that spool of paracord. And I also have a 1/4 pound of bank line, which I'll show you in a second. Now that is that pack totally broken down. Well, I didn't leave the cordage and stuff out, but you guys get the idea. The last thing I wanted to show you was this. Okay, I moved some things around because I want to make sure you guys can get a close-up of this and why I think it's so cool. All right, in this pocket, nope, wrong pocket. In this pocket, forgot I'm usually looking at it from the front. One of the most important things in here is an actual belt. Just like the kidney belt on the backpack itself, which actually is not padded. Unlike the kidney belt on the black backpack, like I said, there's features I like about each. I like that padded kidney belt. But this belt can be worn all by itself. You can loop it through here and wear this kind of, you know, like as a over the shoulder bag. You can also clip it on to here and wear it on your lower back or on your front, wherever you want it. And the cool thing is, once you have this belt out, you can do the same exact thing with those 2 side pouches, which is why I said it's important that I keep the cordage. So I would basically have my spare flashlight, some spare cordage, an emergency fire starting kit. I would have at least 2 extra pairs of gloves already in just with those 2 side pockets. In this, you know, I had this little folding shovel the last time I went out, and I was like, I don't see myself, you know, utilizing a shovel this small. I just don't see the need for it. Well, actually, there were, you know, quite a few uses I found for this. And no, going to the bathroom wasn't one. It's easy enough to dig a hole with a stick for that. But in my shelter, I was having issues with the snow melting and turning icy. Having a nice metal shovel like this to be able to chip that snow away so that I could have laid my sleeping mat out level so that I wasn't constantly sliding downhill would have been nice. So this comes with me from now on, at least this. I'll probably get one of the, you know, entrenching tools, one of the small little diamond spade entrenching tools soon. But, you know, I'm working on a budget here. I got this silly little button compass. I don't even know why I bring it, honestly. But, so yeah, just a shovel and then the belt to actually carry this pack. Now here's where it gets interesting. Think of this pack as like your camp is set up. That pack's pretty much going to be empty anyway, except for the things in the side pockets and the front pocket. So everything else that I need besides my sleep system and my major tools, you know, they're already set up. They're at camp. Everything else is in here. So if I wanted to go out on a day scout, but, you know, let's say there was a chance that, you know, I might get caught with some weather. Well, if you remember, I would still have the emergency poncho, and I would still have that emergency space blanket. And that, even though that space blanket doesn't have grommets or tie downs, you could take a small rock or something, push it up in there, wrap some twine around that, and use that to make a quick lean-to out of. And so you can have yourself an emergency shelter. I have a cheap Lensatic compass here, which I am still learning how to use. That's why I haven't bought a higher quality compass yet, is that I'm still learning land navigation. But, so I keep that. I keep a quarter roll of bank line. I do stuff a lighter down in there. So I have a spare lighter with the bank line. Or sorry, number 36 bank line. Quarter-pound roll. In the very front pocket, set this aside for a second. I have some hand sanitizer, which, you know, if you're out and you want to prepare a meal, sometimes it's nice to have this. You know, your hands can get pretty nasty sometimes. Especially if you've touched water that's suspect. You know, even just getting that, you know, in your eye or something can get you giardia. And I mean, I just got out of the hospital because I thought I had giardia. Not fun experience, even though it turned out it wasn't giardia. I got some spare batteries here. I have 6 AAA because that spare flashlight takes 3. So I got 2 refills for my spare flashlight here. I have 4 AA's. This takes 4 AA's, and my headlamp takes 3 AA's. So I could replace the batteries in either of those. This is my emergency fire starting kit. I've showed this before. Well, not an emergency fire starting kit. This is my main fire starting kit. I got my cotton to make char cloth. I have a proven tin, a lighter, and a watertight Ziploc bag. I have char cloth already made in said tin. And this, I was thinking, might actually work as my new primary fire kit, except I just found out after I ripped this had like a bunch of leather on the outside. I realized it's steel. So, and I don't know if it's going to close tight enough to make char cloth. So I have to test this before I can find out if it's usable for what I need it for. So that's my main fire starting kit. I actually forgot, it's in my jacket right over here right now. I have my main ferro rod and my striker. So these are both part of my main fire kit. This is an item I got on Amazon. I'll put a link to it. You could check it out. Ferro rods also. It came in a 2-pack. And I'm going to put a link to those in the description. These bayite ferro rods, they work pretty well. They throw a lot of sparks. And that's one of the things I like about this tool. That's the side I sharpened. Is you get sharp 90-degree angles to work the ferro rod. You can work a bow drill set with it, use it as a socket. It's high carbon steel, so you can also work flint and steel. If you got char cloth, you're good to go. That always goes in there as well. And this is usually not too far away, but not folded up in the bandana either. Okay, so just right there, let's say I don't even have this ferro rod. I have a brand new bayite ferro rod that's also in this pack. Another spare lighter. And a small Swiss Army knife. And there's two things I like about this Swiss Army knife. One is the fact that it has the scissors, which I like having those little scissors. They come in very handy. And two, this little file implement actually works really well on the ferro rod. Well, maybe it was the other one. Yeah, I had another little knife that I had sharpened. I'll have to do that to this one. Give it a sharper 90-degree edge. But that was a cheap one that I apparently lost on my last camping trip. But it's also got a spare small blade on it too. Speaking of which, in the main compartment of this, normally this would be on my person. Even if I didn't have a belt, it's small enough to where it could fit in a pocket. Buddy Paul just gave me this. It's a Damascus steel. I cleaned it up pretty nice. It was pretty rusted. Well, and it's sharp, boy. Definitely sharp. I just restitched this sheath because it had a couple little issues. But works good now. And if you jam that down there, it holds tight. So. But yeah, that's usually small enough to where this would be in my pocket, if not on my belt. But it does fit in here. So again, second blade, backup blade, headlamp with brand new batteries. Very bright headlamp. So that's 3 candling devices there. I carry a small med kit and a bandana. I'm going to talk about this in a second. In this day bag, scout bag, I keep a spare pair of socks because, let me tell you, you're out on a day hike, your feet get wet. There's nothing you're going to want more than a nice dry pair of socks. I also carry a single coffee and another meal. One thing of ramen noodles. Because, you know, if you do get stuck out overnight, or, you know, you're just out and you're hungry, you want something to eat, boom, you got yourself a little snack, some food, something to eat. And I think that's it for my little scout pack here. But yeah, definitely a versatile little piece of gear. I really like how much useful items you can fit in this, and I mean, you're carrying nothing, you know. I mean, really, this is nothing. Now, I wanted to talk about this med kit a little bit. I keep a spare bandana in here because it can be used for all kinds of, you know, deep gashes. You know, if you're bleeding, you can wrap it up. You can use it to make more char cloth. I keep things like some heartburn pills, some anti-inflammatories. I also have some water purification tablets. It did come with some band-aids and stuff, but in my opinion, band-aids are not what you need when you're out there. You need a needle and thread. You know, if you get a good cut, you need to stitch it. That's when you're gonna need medical attention. Did I ever hit record? All right, I was scared there for a second. So yeah, water purification, needle, thread. Now there's a couple things I would really like to have for my med kit that I don't have. One would be a tourniquet, because again, it's not the little nicks and cuts. I mean, yes, I carry antibiotic ointment in here, but that's also things you can find in nature if you know what you're looking for. But then again, it's nice to have antibiotic ointment and stuff like that in your med kit to avoid infection. Avoiding infection is huge. Cuts, bleeding, another big deal. That's why tourniquets are good. And I would recommend not getting the flat rubber band style tourniquets, and don't get the elastic, you know, pull tight ones. I'd recommend getting like the rubber hose style, because that's more of a multi-use item. You can use it to drink from. You could use it if you were, you know, dealing with type of conveyance that had an engine. You could use it to siphon gas. So it's more of a multi-purpose item. Doesn't take up much weight or space. That's the kind of stuff, you know, that I would really want in my med kit. But this will at least take care of infections. It'll help with, you know, some pretty severe bleeding with the needle and thread and everything. And you can, you know, how far you want to take your med kit, that's up to you. You know, I like to keep it fairly small and just try to be a little safe on my journeys. A little hydrogen peroxide wouldn't hurt either. Which kind of brings up something I wanted to mention. Something I want to do. I'm actually looking into a new like bush pot and cook set, because I'm not too happy with this one. And in there, I want to have little containers of things, not just spices for food, but also things that can, like herbs that can be used for medicinal purposes. And this is something Dave Canterbury does, and he's the one who kind of gave me the idea. You know, like putting cayenne pepper in is good for wounds. I forget if it's a styptic or an antiseptic, but I don't know. There's quite a few out there that, you know, that can do both. They can season your food and actually help you medically. So as I go through, I'm going to be going, or, you know, I'm going to be getting a lot of these little blue containers with the screw tops. I'll just, you know, label them as I go. But yeah, that's something I'm going to start doing as I get room. And as I get a larger bush pot and everything. So yeah, guys, that's my loadout. Generally with the compass, I'll have a map as well of the area. Tell me what you think. Give me your comments. Like I said, anything, all this gear that I've purchased off Amazon, I will put links to in the description, so you can go, you can like read, you know, the specs on the sleeping mat. I mean, like I said, that sleeping mat combined with this sleeping bag and then this tarp kept me warm down to -9, no problems. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to show you. Last but not least, for all 3 trips that I've been on so far, you'll notice I had a white fleece like neck buff on. What I've been wearing, or what I'm going to wear next trip, this actually arrived like a day before I left for my last trip. It's a actual Buff brand neck buff. It's 100% merino wool. So it's soft, it's not itchy, but yet it is wool, which is nice. It's breathable. This is a lightweight, midweight / lightweight. They come in lighter weight, and they even come in a heavyweight as well. But they, you know, as the weight goes up, the price goes up. So this was what I could afford at the time, and I just doubled it up. And you can wear it. You can wear it a bunch of different ways. So I hope you guys got a little insight into what my, you know, my mode of thinking is when I'm preparing here. One of the neat things too, I wanted to mention how, if you remember, I said that black pack, as you fill the outer pockets, you know, you lose space on the inside. Because it is covered in molly webbing, I can actually take these 3 pouches off of the green bag and put them on the black bag if I so choose. And so that's something I might try as well for one of my trips. But I haven't tried this green one yet, so I'm going to try that first. But thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, comment, let me know what you think about my setup. I try to go as minimalist as possible. If you see stuff here that you think is completely unnecessary, let me know, you know. Just be like, hey, get rid of that. You don't need that stuff, whatever. I make these videos for you guys, so share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.